that's, yeah.
Yeah, we're fortunate that way. It's we're as busy as we want to be,
Yeah.
and that's the nice thing with my wife Amber being able to, like,
Help out with that.
yeah, like she does the scheduling, she sets the appointments.
Yeah.
We've got like, I don't know, over 50 people on a repeating schedule
Oh wow.
between 2 and 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So it just makes life really easy to,
Structure it and
yeah,
figure. Yeah. That's kind of what you want is those people who always come in, the regulars. That really that's that building that book of business you were talking about.
yeah, exactly. And I do like running the business side of it, and it is a lot of fun to, yeah, it does, like, to build the business and like see what is possible, because that's the only way, I guess that's the natural way to me.
Yeah.
I always thought marketing was fun, and I took a marketing class in high school. And from that class, I didn't really get a good taste of marketing, so I never really pursued it.
Yeah.
And now that I'm here in a way that, especially with social media, it's like fun and easy to just play with all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm realizing how much like I enjoy doing that, and
Yeah.
that's like the fact that it worked to build a barbershop
Yeah.
locally here in Goshen. It's like, okay, let's just have fun doing this in other ways. I think it annoys Amber a lot of ways because I always have all these different ideas of things I want to try, and because now I just see opportunities.
Right. Yeah. If I do this, this might actually get in front of these people and this thing and that. Right. Let's see if I can try this and
Yeah.
yeah.
Or even like saying, hey, Amber, we need to have this in the barbershop, or we need to
Yeah.
try doing this way.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah.
That's so cool.
I don't know. I follow my man Gary Vee quite a bit. And so
Yeah.
he's got a big influence in my life. And he's given me a lot of perspective. And now, like, listening for Tim's, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, it's interesting to go back and see things I listened to before and I never caught.
Right. Didn't resonate at that point.
Yeah, and now I hear and it hits totally different
Oh wow.
because I'm at a different place, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, this is easy.
Yeah.
It's like, like making videos and just talking and getting to a level of comfort, and
Yeah. Just being able to be on screen and just chatting and yeah, though that's the one thing you post a ton on social media. I love how you engage with people. I remember talking to you about you were thinking about doing a podcast at one point in the barber chair, like mic the person up that you're cutting, and you mic up and you just chat and you've kind of done that sometimes with just having a video there where you speed it up and you show the time lapse of it. You put a really cool you just the ways that you're marketing, you're showing your craft, you're showing your barbershop, you're showing the atmosphere, you're showing who you are, which makes people more comfortable when they first come in because they saw, oh, this is how it goes. You just yeah, it's cool how you're producing content to reach out, and I think that's I think people appreciate that, and I'm sure you hear that all the time, or even new people when they come, they're like, I saw this video,
yeah,
that's like feedback for you, like, oh, that video's working, or this is working, or
yeah, and that's where it's really hard for me to get in touch with my creative side, and I've finally heard, like Gary say, you've got to create stuff for yourself
yeah,
and that you like. And this year, I don't know, the past 6 months, I've been listening to the Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday,
okay.
and that's been really resonating with me. And I'm just trying to work on myself.
Yeah,
We're all trying to get a little bit better.
yeah,
And the first part of the barber journey, I didn't really document any of that because of my judgment of other people doing it.
yeah. You don't want
And
people judging you because you weren't good enough at that point or whatnot.
yeah, exactly. And
But how crazy would it be to see your first cut, and then 10 years later,
right.
like that would be so cool to see that.
And I've got some pictures here and there, but to like actually do it the way that I'm doing it
Yeah.
now,
Yeah,
and the only difference is my perception
yeah,
of myself,
yeah.
right?
How wild's that?
It's crazy.
Yeah,
So that's where, like, through this book is really resonating with me, the Stoicism book. And it's funny because a girl one time told me that I was really you don't have to be so stoic about everything. And at the time, I didn't know what that meant. And she said it condescending, so it was meant as an insult.
right.
But now I'm reading this book and I'm like, well, yeah, I am just pretty stoic about a lot of things, and I align with these thoughts, and that motivates me and pushes me.
Yeah,
So I just want to share it with the world. And that was a natural way to do it, because if I don't create every day, then it's like working out. I won't.
Yeah, you won't do it. You'll forget for a couple weeks.
Right.
Right. And then, oh man, you get back to the gym, post another video or whatever.
Yeah, and if
Right.
I'm also trying to post a trend, that's never going to be natural.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of what you want to post.
Yeah.
I think, I was watching you guys put up the new ceiling in your place, and it looked like there was multiple things didn't go as planned, at all, and so. And the duct cleaning, I actually really enjoyed that video too, seeing what your air ducts looked like before and after at the end of that video. I'm like, that's why I watched that. That was so good.
It was nuts, right?
Yeah, it was nasty.
Crazy. Like you can actually hear the air moving now.
Yeah. Oh,
Flowing
really?
through. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's cool. The ceiling project's been it was a lot. It wasn't necessarily planned that way. It just happened and
But that's you creating content. You're a barber. You shouldn't be showing what you're doing with the shop. People appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's you creating your own content how you want to. This is what I'm doing. This is how I feel authentic. Look at what's happening in the barber shop. And yeah, I think that's the atmosphere. Even though it's not a cut and it's flashy and the latest trend, people are like, oh yeah, that's what's happening at the barber shop. When I go in, I can talk to them about it. I can see it.
yeah. Like I realized a lot of my anxiety from being a barber was coming from trying to fit inside the barber world.
Yeah, you don't have a beard or a mustache.
No, like
Your hair doesn't floop in the front.
no, like Goshen, right? Who do I serve? I serve blue collar, generally working people,
Yeah.
or people that don't want the hard hairlines and a lot of those things that are cool and trendy in the haircut world. So even like finding myself as a barber saying, hang on, I'm the concrete barber, and people want functional haircuts and they want their time
Yeah.
to come in and out is more important than some of those things that I could do if I would take the time to learn.
Mm.
But to me, I didn't see the return, and I'd rather build a quality relationship over time period,
Yeah.
for like a functional haircut. And so like just finding that gave me a lot of peace to now back to, and I heard Gary now finally say like you can just document what you're doing, and having my daughter and starting to go, wait a minute, my mom did creative memories. I don't know if you know remember those. They were like a scrapbook.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And they had like cutout stamps and different stickers, and they would create cool of memories.
Yeah.
And I thought Instagram and all these socials and this ability to create short content is our version of that.
Mm.
So if I document this for my daughter and for whoever else that wants to see it in 10 years, it's here.
Yeah. And then go back and watch it all.
Yes.
See all the stuff. See the progression.
Right. And even for, like, we all take pictures, right? And then where do they end up? In some big folder, and we never go through them and find those memories.
Yeah.
But if we go to the socials and look at maybe a collage or a short little video of each thing, like the time we took the ceiling out,
Yeah.
we watch the videos and we're like, okay, that's where we were at.
Yeah.
And I think it really captures those things. And it's been fun to just create that now without the expectation of anything other than just documenting it.
That's cool. Yeah. Instagram is a scrapbook. It literally is.
All of it.
It's wild. I mean, the memes, maybe not so much, but
Right.
yeah, but still, no. Yeah, that is really cool, and it is you're documenting your journey, and you can see that is really a cool way. We are living in a different world now. It's fascinating. Like that's how I feel with the podcast. That kind of documenting. I do podcasts with my dad where we talk about just weird stuff, but I'm getting his ideas, and I have them recorded. And so my kids and grandkids, if they want to, can listen and be like, "Oh, that's what Grandpa."
Right.
And he was crazy, but he was such a good crazy. And here you're listening to his voice. I had a buddy who passed away, and I had podcasted 4 hours or 6 hours with him. And so I was able to clip all of these like things he said about his family and all that stuff, and able to make a sound file and give that to the family at the funeral. It was just like
That's crazy.
It was wild, and you don't know that's going to happen, but you're literally documenting their voice, their story, their thoughts, their expressions.
It's much more intimate, and it's a tangible memory
Yeah.
more than a picture,
Yeah.
because your mind distorts the memories from the pictures
Yeah.
that it recreates for that. But the words are the words.
Yeah,
And
and it's cool because I mean you can do that with Instagram as well. I mean you have those. You know, when you leave, let's say, turn 20, 30 years when you leave the Scott shop, that's now concrete Barber. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
We're not calling it Scott's anymore.
Hey,
It's gone.
it's the old Scots.
It's old Scott's. But if you leave that and go somewhere else, you'll have the progression of those memories. You're right. It's that scrapbook that this is how we were feeling at this time. This is the stuff we were going through, and I have it documented here to come back and look at in the future.
Yep.
If I want. That's such a cool thing. Yeah.
And if somebody outside of Goshen that maybe never will physically come into the shop takes away some kind of belief, because we're like, wait a minute, look at this dude that just poured concrete and did this. Yeah. And he's only an average barber. I can actually cut hair better than he can, and I can do all this stuff better than him, and they do it.
Yeah.
Then that's where that changes the world to a better place. Yeah. To me.
I know that is cool, and that's the way you reach out past local.
Right.
Is your social media, which is cool, and I'm sure you're starting to see the analytics, you see how it gets to all those people. Yeah, dude. Well, I'll kind of switch over if that's cool. I kind of want to talk a little bit about crypto because you were in your marketing, in the way you're reaching out to people. You did a really unique thing, which I thought was you did your own NFT. You want to kind of talk about how that whole process came out and what that is, what that looked like?
Yeah, so because of the barber shop, actually, so a friend, somebody that had come in had talked to me about crypto, and it's something I'd been aware of, but never really put some thought into, and he was the first person that was doing it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, hold up. Okay, this dude can do it, right? Well, this dude can do it.
I can do it.
I can do it.
Yeah.
And if I'm doing it wrong, he's already doing it. So in 2 weeks, he'll be back in. I'm like, hey, dude, how do we do this part? Right? That's the joy of the barbershop. It's like ask the audience all the time.
Yeah. Feedback all the time.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so then so he kind of helped me get going, and that was fun to me. And I started actually understanding what blockchain is and how it worked and what all these cryptos were different blockchains. Mm. And then I'm not, Evan Atkinson. Okay, so he's a friend of mine that I've known over the years. I met him as a front desk guy at the gym at Eastlake, 10 years ago. So he said, hey, there's a thing called NBA Top Shot. It's like crypto basketball cards. Yeah. Kind of like these NFTs. And so I started looking into that, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I like this. And that made me start to understand what blockchain could do with collectibles. And at that time I was doing baseball cards, trying to get back into the baseball card game and flipping them and doing that. Yeah. And I hated
crazy during COVID, the baseball cards. I remember they just were like, Scott, who we're a mutual friend, he does, I think he might do baseball and basketball, but he was showing me the cards that he was trading and selling and the prices and the graphs and all that stuff at that. This was 2021 maybe. No, I was watching that.
Yeah, and it was me trying to be the business person. Yeah. I wanted to make a business out of it. Well, that takes time. Yeah. Okay, well, I've got an infant barber shop also. I don't have time to build a baseball card empire. Yeah. So, but then these Top Shots, I said, wait a minute, this takes out the shipping. I don't have to go to the post office. Oh yeah. That's a huge chunk of the time and the learning curve, because I understand how the cryptocurrencies and the blockchain exchanges. So that took over my attention and really got me into the NFT side of things. And then listening to Gary, he started talking about the functionality of NFTs and what they could be used for. And then he got his collection in May of, I think, 21 and dropped it. And I said, well, man, I don't want to go to a festival, so I can't justify spending this money on a festival after doing my research on it. So I didn't, and I passed a little bit, and I just watched what they could do. And I started thinking, after hearing his words, all right, how could I incorporate this technology into the barbershop? Yeah. And Gary says that they can be used as tickets and vouchers. And so I said, I wonder if I could make a haircut gift certificate for unlimited haircuts in NFT form. Yeah. And well, I did that.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you take photos of, like, were those the first photos? I mean, because I saw this on Twitter. I thought it was so cool because you literally had a picture which you could buy, which was your NFT. And there's only so many that you minted. So, and then the person who purchased those, was it like 1.3 ETH or something like that? I forget what it was. A couple of
yeah,
you have it, so, and then if they want to sell it, they could pass it to the next person. So it was like, you have unlimited haircuts, but then if you were like, all right, I actually want to pass this to someone else, you can do it. I thought maybe you could.
Absolutely.
You could sell it to the next person, so you weren't locked into unlimited haircuts for the rest of your life. With concrete, you could get in and out depending on the want of it, the desire of it, the cost of it.
The token is the thing that holds the haircuts, not the person
who purchased it. Right. Yeah, it's the actual NFT that you created. That is, yeah.
And so it's so what they were pictures. I've always liked photography.
Yeah.
And so around job sites, if something seemed artistic to me, I would take a picture of it.
Oh, very cool.
So just through my camera roll, I had a bunch of pictures of job sites, and I was looking for, like I said, I'm not a creative person, so I'm not drawing NFTs, and I said I'll just throw these different job site pictures up here because they're cool and meaningful to me in different ways.
Right. Yeah, and concrete barber, right? It adds to the level of what you do and your past and history. And,
yeah. And as I have conversations with people at the barbershop, a lot of people laugh about it and just dismiss it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to prove some of those people wrong.
Yeah.
Or I guess right. I wanted to know one way or the other.
Yeah.
So on OpenSea's storefront, they had to create your NFT. So one Saturday night when I had some time, I just started down that rabbit hole, and a couple hours later, I had an NFT.
That's wild.
Project. And so I sold. My initial intent was to sell them only in Ethereum because I wanted other people to learn how to navigate blockchain. Because if I was going to give them haircuts forever, I wanted them to have to work a little bit for it. Right? And so that worked well because the first person bought it, and they put their speed of their transaction, which is called gas on the Ethereum blockchain.
Yeah.
They put that at a very low cost. So the transaction took almost 24 hours to go through.
Gotcha.
And that was a good learning opportunity for both of us to know how the system works and how to navigate it better next time.
Gotcha.
So it worked in that way. But then after that, I realized that was just a lot of work for people, and it was asking too much of them.
Yeah.
And just recently I heard this perspective of, like, people don't care how an airplane works. They just care that they go from
point A to point B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, duh.
Yeah.
If people want a haircut NFT and I want the crypto, I should just onboard them the easiest way possible.
Yeah.
And I'll get the crypto on the backside.
Yeah.
So I'm working on a season 2 now because I wanted to take the OpenSea storefront edition is only on OpenSea.
Oh,
and,
gotcha.
and there's another website like manifold.xyz where people can create their own projects and their own NFTs. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
So I wanted to play around with that and learn that. So I made another edition, like a season 2, and I'm figuring out if I'm going to offer those.
Yeah, it'll be in different. It won't just be ETH. It'll be just other.
No, I'm just going to sell them in dollars.
In dollars. Oh, nice. Okay, so then people can, and then it'll translate to crypto for you in the back end, or you can just
whatever.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of investing too, right?
Yeah.
It's like at the time when you released it, ETH was at a certain level, right? And now it's probably at a different level.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so and like part of the fun of it was giving people the opportunity to watch the market of Ethereum and dollars and those things. So some people, like right after Russia went into Ukraine, the market tanked, right?
Right.
I get this text at 2 or 3 in the morning that somebody picked up my NFT.
No way.
Yeah, right? So good on them. They get it for dirt cheap because they're playing the game.
Wow.
And I love that opportunity.
Yeah, and you put it out there.
I put it out there.
Right. Oh, that's wild. So yeah, it was cheap. They could get free haircuts for the rest of their life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then they don't have to book online. That's the other thing is you just text Amber on the business line, and I make myself available,
MVP experience
Yes.
right there. That's so cool. And so season 2, are you gonna? You did 4 NFTs? Was it 4?
Well,
or was it
I
3?
created like 15 of them
Okay.
on season 1 and like 10 of them on season 2.
Okay. Yeah, because at some point you're not gonna have enough time to cut everyone.
Yeah, and I think the math for me is like if I sell 8 of them total,
Yeah.
that is 4 hours a month
Oh, gotcha.
that I spend doing NFT haircuts,
Right.
and to me that's pretty justifiable.
Yeah, that does make sense.
It's a half a work day.
Yeah, and now you have crypto. Yeah.
Now I got crypto.
Especially like I'm just watching all the banking stuff happening right now. Like I'm invested a little bit in crypto as well. And it's nice to have not all eggs in one basket. You know, it's diversified and
Yeah, spread it out.
yeah, spread it out. You know, if the banking system fails, I got my NFTs.
That's Yeah, exactly. So and so I've actually got something here for you.
Oh,
so
what?
so with buying the haircut NFTs, I wanted to go into
No way.
into NFT projects, and part of that, I wanted to be part of an online community. So it's I love these things called it's Pixel Vault, and this is the Inhabitants universe.
Okay.
This guy, I named him Buzzcut. He's the mascot for the barbershop.
Oh, I love it.
And yeah, so I wanted to make a little product line and make a brand and kind of do some of my like crypto and not crypto, but NFT stuff there and be part of that community
Yeah.
and be like the barber of that online community.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so for like I don't know, like a year or 18 months, I've been hanging out there in Discord and Twitter with those guys and being part of that and being welcomed into that group is what really brought me out of my shell because one, my judgment of Twitter
Right.
and what people that tweet a lot 5 years ago coming from Goshen, Indiana
Yeah.
is totally different than now being inside of a community
Inside of Twitter. Yeah.
because crypto and NFT community is largely digital, right?
Yeah.
And that's just the places they hang out.
Oh wow.
So I decided I was like, I want to go hang out there.
Yeah. What's my persona? What's my front face?
Yeah, like how do I get there?
Yeah.
And somewhere in there, somebody said you should watch Ready Player One. So I watched Ready Player One, and that like really opened my eyes to like what could be.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's factual by any means, but
Right. But we seem to be going more and more that direction.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, if I want to document digitally, why do I care about? I really care about these people outside of Goshen that I don't even know.
Yeah.
So if I go build relationships with them, then I don't really care what they think
Right.
because they're actually my friends now.
Yeah.
And so I went to Twitter and those things, and like I saw these dudes on there, and they always
These like profiles of
yeah, and I'm like those things are
Bored Ape
badass.
or yacht ape or what is it? Is it Bored Ape?
The Bored Ape
Yeah.
Yacht Club.
The yacht club. Yeah. And so you'll see those like kind of. I see those. I mean, even though people may have just taken them, but that kind of style is just really taken over Twitter.
Yeah.
And you see that all the time. So yeah, and this is your profile pic, right? Or is it similar to that?
Well, so as I got into this, like that was my first one I picked up.
Yeah.
And because I wanted a bald one that looked like me and resonated with me. And then I realized, well, I want him to be his own character.
Right. So he's the mascot.
Yeah, I wanted the Jolly Green Giant
Yeah.
of the barbershop.
Yeah.
And yeah.
He looks like that, but with a Marvel character. You know what I mean? It's like a Marvel character. The ball. Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, the guy that drew he's Chris Wall.
Okay.
He illustrated for Marvel at some point.
No way.
Yeah, in his career. Yeah, he's a super talented dude out there. And so he drew all these traits, and something that's cool is that those come from a thing called a Mint Pass 1.
Okay.
So think of that as like a baseball pack.
Yeah.
And you will go onto the Inhabitants website, and you would mint a generative identity. So Buzzcut is a generative identity.
Okay.
And when you do that, all of the traits are generated live on chain in the moment.
Oh wow.
So it's like pulling a slot machine.
Yeah.
Where each trait has I think I'm saying this correctly, like a % chance of being rolled
Oh okay.
or minted.
Yeah.
And then it spits out your identity.
Oh wow. So yeah, that's fascinating. Yeah, it is kind of like